What's going on, dudes and dudettes? So yeah, you heard me mention him the other day. The Florida State defensive back Vance Jr. had a really good visit over the weekend to USC, and it looks like he has officially committed a couple days after. So that's nice. I'm getting a good veteran player on that side, even though they looked pretty stacked there and pretty talented in that spring game. They definitely need a guy at that certain nickel position that plays more inside compared to a corner that plays outside. But I'm sure he can do both if they need him to. But yeah, he's definitely a guy that was very talented coming out of Florida State, and a lot of suitors wanted him, but luckily USC was able to get him. So definitely very happy about that transfer news. And then they also had that number one player in the 2026 class, Jakeem Stewart, and he said like everything that Lincoln Riley said to him before he even got to visit USC, and everything that he planned to do on the defensive side that he basically has done so far, and he's loving everything he sees, even what they envision for him on the field and off the field with other business opportunities and all that good stuff. So I'm pretty sure they're putting up a good NIL package money-wise, and getting certain ads and all that revenue and stuff for him to be able to want to stay there and actually pick USC. And we still have to wait and hear if he's going to reclassify and graduate a year sooner to join that 2025 class. But either way, this is definitely some good news, because he did say also recently to Steve Wiltfong of On3, who's one of the main recruiting guys out there, that there is one of his teams that he did visit that's in pole position, meaning that they are in first place, obviously. But like I kind of said, he sort of said that he loved every place and had really great things to say about every place he had just recently visited. So kind of taking this with a little bit of a grain of salt, but I know Steve Wiltfong kind of has USC as a prediction as well, or he has at least leaning towards him picking USC. So that's what I'm very excited about. And over the weekend, but especially this Monday, I guess a lot of those transfer basketball guys were on campus because a lot of them have committed within the past couple of days. I'll run through a lot of the names and where they were from. There was a Northern Colorado guard/forward named St. Thomas. He did commit to USC. He's 6'7", and averaged like 19 points a game, which is good. There was I believe he's from Bowling Green State University. He's a 6'8" forward. And his name was, I don't know if it's Rashawn AG or AG Rashawn, but either way, that's the only name I saw on his commitment area. So luckily we have another tall guy. Then the 2024 four-star guard, Isaiah Elohim, did commit to USC, and he's the first high school recruit that the new head coach has gotten in that cycle. Obviously, a lot of those guys had left that were here prior, and I don't think many of them are coming back, or any of them. I know Kozlowski put out like a Final Four list that did not include USC, so we'll still wait on Campbell and Perry. But yes, they did get a top 50 overall guy in that 2024 class, or 2025. Yeah, it's 2024 class. So yeah, either way, he's a pretty talented dude. So yes, luckily they were able to get him from the high school ranks. Then there were other couple transfers from college. There was, a Boise State forward, Chibuzo Agbo. He's 6'7", and from San Diego as well, and he averaged 13.7 points per game out there in Boise State. So yeah, getting a lot of very talented offensive guys. All these guys can definitely score, but they're very athletic like that. I like that certain type of height. They average like the 6'7" to 6'8", 6'9". A lot of wing type of players, so you can interchange and play multiple positions on defense. So hopefully they'll be able to pick that up and be able to use what they're already good at offensively to help out this team coming up this fall. And the defensive end from the San Francisco 49ers, Drake Jackson, who's also an ex-USC guy, is doing a free football camp. Pretty sure it's for like younger guys and in Pee Wee football, maybe high school football as well. But he's doing it pretty locally here at Centennial High School where he went to school. So that's going to be pretty cool for all of them to do it. Luckily, he can still do it in his hometown compared to having to do it somewhere up there in San Francisco where he lives now. So that's pretty cool. He's bringing the football game back to his community, so that's nice to see. Then there was a four-star defensive lineman, Juju Marks. They got so many Jujus now, maybe coming to USC, but he put out a recent top 8, and he included USC in there. So once again, another talented guy still putting USC on his list, so that's good to see. There was another guy, I think it was a 2025 4-star linebacker, Nathaniel Owusu-Boateng. He has a final 13 and recently put USC on there as well. So yeah, very talented linebacker, definitely a need of position in the future for USC. So we'll see where they end up at the end of that list. And then there maybe was another player, yes, a 4-star safety, Lagonza Hayward. He did set up an official visit to USC. Apparently, I don't know the exact date, but definitely a 4-star and on the defensive side. So he must be pretty talented. That's all what we can hope for. And I think there was some more recruiting news where the ex-USC wide receiver Kyle Ford, who went to UCLA for 1 year this last season, didn't really do much there. He thought he was going to be the main guy, but I know one guy I watched on Locked On USC said he recently saw him within the last couple of months on campus at one of the practices, but there was no word that he was on an official visit or nobody knew exactly what he was doing there. And now there's some rumblings going around that it looks like he might be transferring back to USC. Obviously, he knows that he's not going to be the main featured guy anymore because there's a lot more talented guys that are even younger than him that will be playing ahead of him, but he will still be able to, I guess, stay in the city of LA, be able to get his degree officially from USC if he had not gotten it, and I guess we'll see if he ends up going to the NFL or not. But yeah, it's pretty interesting that he's coming back, but at least he's going to be playing for the right LA team. And two of the top targets on the defensive line that USC was targeting, Deion Hayes from Pittsburgh and I believe Jermaine Lele from Louisville, recently committed to two different teams the past couple of days, so it looks like they're out of the running, obviously. And I don't know exactly who else USC at that position has really been going hard after. I know they were going after those two guys, and then Demonic Williams, whatever his name is, from TCU at that same position. I don't know if they're still in his running because he wants like 7 figures from any school he goes to, so I don't know if they're really willing to pay him that much for just a 1-year rental, basically. But I know there was some word that they might be waiting for a lot of like the SEC guys, some of those bigger, better defensive linemen to maybe enter the transfer portal within the next week or so, because I think pretty much after this week it might be done, so this transfer window. So they're waiting to see if any of those guys go out, and they might end up picking them up and putting them on their roster. But yeah, we'll see, because I know there's some receivers out there as well that they wanted. But if they're going to bring back Kyle Ford, as I mentioned prior, then I don't know if they're going to end up going after those guys either. But we'll see. Maybe they're going to add some guys in that 2024 recruiting class. You never know, because there could be some late additions like that. And then in the NBA, the ex-USC guard DeMar DeRozan is a finalist for the NBA Clutch Player of the Year award, which I totally forgot about, that it's some type of brand new award at the end of the year that the NBA is doing, along with like the Sixth Man or the MVP of the year. And I guess he made a finalist. He made it as a finalist because he was obviously clutch, really good in late games, helped his team win a couple of those times late in games as well. So I guess that's a cool thing to win on your, accomplishments at the end of your career. So we'll see if he ends up getting that in a couple of weeks or so. And then I think it said that recently USC has had quite a bit of defensive backs drafted in the NBA draft. It was like at 59, which is pretty good overall. I'm pretty sure other teams have gone ahead of them, but there have been a lot of quality defensive backs selected by USC in the history of the NFL and have played very well. So I'm not surprised at this number, but I really wish it was higher, because you kind of think with as much players as they had, especially good ones on that side while playing at USC, there'd be more guys drafted. But hopefully we'll get a couple more in the next couple of years. Speaking of the I'm about to say NBA draft, the NFL draft, obviously it is this Thursday, so a couple of days from when you're watching this on Tuesday. So I'll hopefully try to get one of my final mock drafts for the Chargers. I usually built up certain number of videos by then, but I kind of just wanted to focus on one to make it the one and only. So you should be expecting that within the next couple of days. Thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a good rest of your day. Bye. Fight on.